Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see you.
Listen, happy hump day, right? Now, in today's video, we are going to cover crypto. And if you are a business owner, how it relates to you.
Exactly. I want to start by telling a little story. So the fellow networkers who are listening to this are probably going to relate. If you've been in network marketing for any given amount of time, like me, right? So I've made a lot of money in network marketing. Our team members made a lot of money inside of network marketing over the last, couple decades. Okay. So so that's a good thing. So that's a positive. The issue for me anyway was that I was pretty much spending everything. Now, first of all, I always reinvest in my business. So that part, that's cool. Like every time I make money, I put some money back in, upgrade my marketing or whatever. But then the rest of it, oh yeah, the girls and we'd get our nails done. We'd go and get our hair done. We'd go out to eat. We would do, I had my lawn. I still do though, have my lawn taken care of by somebody else. And just this money was spent and I wasn't investing it. And as time went on, where am I now? So I'm 48 years old. And a couple of years ago, I said to my husband, we have not done as entrepreneurs any kind of investing for our retirement, or, if something would happen to one of us or both of us where we couldn't do what we do anymore. And so a couple of years ago, it just came really apparent that because I is 40-ish, right, that I was running out of time as far as being able to compound my money. Like if I would have started in my 20s, my kids, they have much more time to compound smaller amounts into larger amounts. The older you get, it's never too late, but you also have to take a look at like, how much time do I have left? And so we turned to cryptocurrency because it is an emerging market. And I know it's the hot topic, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Cryptocurrency is really just putting a price on technology for the first time in history. And, what you've had in the past are everybody can relate to stocks, right? Well, what is stock? It's putting basically a price on a company. Instead of putting a price on a company, it's putting a price on technology, emerging technologies, a true dollar amount on the technology itself. And so, if you know how to do your homework and you get with the right team in the right groups, you can really grow your income. This full income disclaimer, I don't think is guaranteed, but it has the potential to build our income a lot quicker for long-term investing and short-term investing and anything else that we have. And like I said, we're in our mid-40s, so we don't have as much time as I would have had if I would have just started. I was 26 when I started network marketing full-time. By 28, if I would have just started putting a little bit of money into some type of investment. So we turned to cryptocurrencies and other things, not the only thing, right? Because I believe in diversification. But it's really been a game changer for us, to the point where no matter what company we rep for, and, because Christine and I are affiliate marketers and network marketers, we make money a lot of different ways. In fact, take a look just a little bit later on our Facebook page. I'm going to post a little 5-minute video and show you one of the easiest. It's actually the easiest thing that we do to make money. But the thing is that for me anyway, I just didn't have a lot of time left. So like we can't talk specifically about our gains. Even if we could, I wouldn't tell you. It's never a good idea to disclose how much money you make. It just isn't, not on lives and not on social media and Facebook and stuff. But the thing is that it's really helped us get to the point where I feel like, okay, we're on track now, right, to get to a specific goal that we have, inside of our household, in order to, stop working. If we, I don't know if I'll ever actually retire because I like doing stuff, but not having to do anything. Even now, we're kind of at the point where we probably didn't have to do stuff, but I'm not where I would want to be, because I plan to live to 150. So
like, I agree. Like, the reason why I got into the cryptocurrency space is because I felt like passive, right? But in being an entrepreneur, what I wanted to do was actually have some savings, because they don't have a 401k with this plan. Nobody told me. you know?
Oh, you mean
Like,
with being an entrepreneur? Oh, yes.
exactly.
Right.
Right. They don't give you like when you walk away from your job, one of the things that you don't take into account is that hourly wage that you got came along. If you had benefits, it came along with an additional price tag. It came along with your medical and vision and dental benefits. It came along with any life insurance that you had through your job that now you have to pay for out of pocket. It came along with like all of these extras that you didn't really realize you got. So when you were getting that hourly, it was actually a lot more than that because of everything that the company was paying for behind the scenes. So walking away from like a traditional 9 to 5 and like having to tap into my 401k the first year that I left and things like that, I was like, I was saving and I started saving late. So now what do I do? And finding out about cryptocurrency and some of the things that we do, pay us dividends every 3 days and things like that. Some of the things that we do, we just leave there and let the yield from things come in. It made more sense to me to start putting additional money into cryptocurrency to save for the future. Because like Christy said, I probably won't ever like truly retire. I've retired from the 9 to 5 situation. I've retired from being a 401k employee. But as far as not doing things, I'll continue to do things, but I still want to have that nest egg in the background for when I do decide to slow down, or if I want to take a longer vacation, I'm not worried, you know?
Absolutely. And so, we're to the point where no matter what we're doing, a financial program has to be part of the mix for the team. Because, even if you're in a nutritional company, if you're in a web hosting MLM, right? If you're in an education MLM, whatever it is, whatever your MLM is, you also want to have something in place to teach your team financial intelligence, if you will. And how can they take those checks they get once a month or once a week or however you get paid, and how can they grow it? We're talking about saving, but we're talking about savings that is growing. Right. Not savings that is losing its spending power, which is what is happening if you have money sitting in your savings account. It's actually losing its value every single day.
Yep.
Okay. And not to be political. So when I say this, it's just to be funny, but I literally stopped for gas this morning and I'm pumping the gas and there's a little sticker of our president pointing at the gas price and saying I did that. And it made me laugh. So, and it doesn't matter if you like Biden or you don't like Biden. It still just made me laugh. But the point was like, oh my gosh, whoever did that was hilarious because it was only on one pump in the whole gas.
Right.
So I don't think the owners even know it's sitting there. But that is the reality of your spending dollar in your savings account, right? Because if you just have money sitting in your savings account and it's earning what, like 0.01% or something like that.
Right.
It's losing its value every day. Look at how much gas is compared to where it was a couple of years ago. Milk, any,
bread.
Meat is ridiculous, right? If you want to get a steak, so everything is going up. And so that means that the money you have isn't worth as much if you're just saving it. So you need to be growing it, at least keeping up with inflation, which on average is about 3% a year. Some years it's less, some years it's more. This year, more, much more.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't really keep any money in our savings account other than our emergency fund. Because you still got to have that fast. I want this money out like
I can
5 minutes. Right. For an emergency. But even then, our emergency fund earns 6% a year because we put it inside of a safer cryptocurrency investment.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like I don't think people pay attention to inflation. And right now, more than ever, I think this year, more than any other year in my life, is like the biggest year for inflation for me. I've never paid attention to finance this much before until I got involved with like the trading space. But because I've never done that before, I've never been so cognizant of the things that are going on. And now watching the cost of groceries, we've all seen that meme where somebody has a grocery cart full of groceries and it says $20. And then they have a cart that's like a quarter of the way filled and it says $20. that's the reality that we live in. And it's because of inflation, and people don't really pay attention to that. Like, and cryptocurrency, it gets such a negative connotation, but it gets a negative connotation sometimes to me because people with money want to make sure that they can get in first.
Pay attention to what say it again. Say that again.
People with money want to make sure that they can get in first. So cryptocurrency, what we've seen, we've watched a company called MicroStrategy, and we snuck in and we sat in the meetings and we watched and we paid attention to what they said that they were going to do to invest their companies, multi-million-dollar companies, and change their books from fiat currency over to crypto. And why? Right? And it's because you can hedge against the dollar with crypto. When the dollar is dropping, you don't have to suffer when it's falling off a cliff. You're not going with it, right? There are safe places that you can put your money. And now, because it was at the beginning of this year where some of the bigger companies could get in, now because they're in, the narrative is changing. Everybody's seeing there's a stadium that is being named crypto.com. Everybody's seen it. It was all over the news. It was the one thing on social media I said I would not post because it was everywhere. But that's the reality that we live in. More people are being involved and becoming involved in cryptocurrency now, but you still hear the horrible narrative on the news. It's still like gonna disappear and things like that. But if it was gonna disappear, why would Facebook put $10 billion into creating Meta?
I don't know.
$10 billion into creating something that had already existed that they can get in now. Like,
at the beginning of this year, and let's not name names, but
right.
This is, big money guy tweets something about, looks like it's time to sell off Bitcoin. Turns out his company didn't own any Bitcoin yet. They were getting ready to buy Bitcoin and get approved through the government in just a few weeks. So that's the manipulation of the big money. He says, he doesn't lie, right? Looks like it's time to sell Bitcoin. He does not saying he had it, but you assume he has it because of what he's saying. And they don't even buy, they want the price to go down so that when the government gave him the stamp, the price was lower. So that's the manipulation of the big money. Just pay attention. If the big money wants to get in, then why are we not? Right. And also, a lot of you who are not involved in cryptocurrency, or maybe have just been dabbling, you may think that it's just about buying some crypto and then hoping it goes up in value. There are so many different ways to make money in cryptocurrency, and we won't get into every single one today, but cryptocurrency is there to use it to make money in a lot of different ways. And if you don't know all the ways that you can be making money, you need to plug into a platform and a team. Yes, it's a shameless plug for our team, because we are plugged into a community who not only knows what we're doing inside of cryptocurrency, but we're forever evolving and learning, because there are no real experts in this space yet, because it's always growing and everything. And there are so many different ways. Oh, maybe you are someone who has heard about all these kind of different ways. You don't have to participate in every single way. You find some of the different ways that make sense to you and get yourself involved. You do not want to be, sitting there 20 years from now, whatever, 30 years from now, whatever, 40, 50, and your grandkid says to you, oh, you had a chance to get involved with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which is different. Bitcoin's just one crypto.
Yep.
Back in the day, did you? And you were saying, no, I thought it was a scam.
And 30 years later, it's still around and your grandkids are only using it, right?
Right. It's the only way they pay for things is through digital currency.
Exactly. And like we said, shameless plug, the reason why we are involved in as many things as we're involved in with cryptocurrency is because we've told you on several of our podcasts, we are willing to invest in ourselves to get the information that we need to become more successful faster, right? People can definitely do it the long way. You can definitely research yourself to success. However, why would you choose to do it over such a long period of time when we had our mentor, he has 4 classes a week. In the cryptocurrency space, we went from having, I think there were 26 DeFi projects, 26 decentralized finance projects 1 week, and the next week it had doubled. And we didn't have to go in and do all of the research on why and what was good and what wasn't. We don't have to go out searching through this gigantic haystack looking for a needle, because we've partnered with an education platform and phenomenal educators who are very well versed at doing research, and they do that for us, and they give us the opportunity to plug in with them. They teach us what they do, and they share with us what they do. So we can either go and do it on our own or just plug in. And I kind of like the plug in way, because it's a lot of information. Like,
it is a lot of information, and you should absolutely do your own research. But where's your starting point? You want to start with the 8,000, I don't even know what it is anymore, 10,000 cryptocurrencies, and try to figure out, or get on YouTube and listen to some guy who's, you didn't realize, but he's getting paid to plug a certain kind of cryptocurrency. We choose to plug into the platform, and it's messed up my camera, because we can start with a smaller list and do your own research. So when Chrissy says, 26 DeFi projects, don't let that scare you. That sounds actually kind of scary. Mm-hmm. That means that now you only have to do research on these projects, and then you can decide what makes sense for you, right? Instead of starting with 8,000 cryptos, you had 26 projects to.
Well, no, we didn't even have 26. Mikey had narrowed the list down to like 3.
To 3. Well, there you go.
So now top 3 of the 26. Yeah.
Now you can go and you can do your research, and you don't have to, the stuff, sometimes when we talk about it, because we're so used to talking about it, it sounds scary. I don't get involved with everything that the team offers. I do my own, but it's a good starting point, right? Yep. And then you can go do your own research from this very small list. But not only that, do you know how to do your own research?
Right.
Well, we show you exactly how to do your own research, what to look for.
And the security. Like, before you even get involved, our very first thing is security. The second thing is security. The third thing is security. Then after that, then you start to learn how to go out and use the exchanges securely, right? So that's one of the things that I was talking to a couple people the other day, trying to figure out, like, well, what are some of your inhibitions about cryptocurrency? And they were like, well, is it safe? So I could pull up things that I am currently using that are secure. Earlier this year, T-Mobile had a breach with data, right? Those breaches with data, companies are not required to tell you about them when they happen initially, because I did my research, right? They don't have to tell you when it happens. They can wait up to a year. So imagine being part of a breach, your information being put out there, because everybody uses, or everybody's bank has a form of digital or online banking, right? Imagine not knowing that your banking information was on the black market somewhere. Or imagine knowing that you have an email that is safe and secure, that's not hackable. So when that happened with your bank, mine was my cell phone provider, right? Then I don't have to worry about the 50 things that could be happening, because I did the security part for cryptocurrency first. And the security actually spilled over into what I use my bank for. Anything that you protect the same way you protect your social security number. I was able to protect all of that information because I had learned about crypto security. So it doesn't only benefit you in the cryptocurrency space, it actually like spills over into other areas of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a network marketer and you're getting your check every week, you're building a team, are you also providing financial, education and intelligence to your team members, so that when they get paid, they can take some of that money and be smart with it? And crypto is just one thing. Like, one of the things about getting into this space is it's opened the doors to all kinds of things that we're doing, right? Because it's like, you just start to realize there's so many different ways to make money, and it just opens this door, and then you're more open to some of the things, like the thing that I'm going to post today on the page for you guys, where we just click a button to make money every day, right? I don't know if I'd be looking that or have the network of contacts to learn about that, right? If we wouldn't be inside of this space. So I think it's important to make sure that no matter what your passion is, whether it, again, no matter what company you're involved in, that you also have a place for your team to plug in to grow those checks even further.
Yep. Because one of the, like, my favorite thing from this year was the treasure boxes. A lot of people on our team have these little treasure boxes that sit in the window, and they bring extra income into your home from sitting in the window. We heard about that from our mentor, and we did more research than he did.
Exactly. Yep.
And now, like, we shared the information with the rest of the team, and we got involved, and now we have an additional source of passive income. You do the work on the front end, and it continues to bring in the income on the back end for you. I love stuff like that. But like she said, we wouldn't have been cognizant, or we wouldn't have been aware of that information had we not been plugged in the space that we're in.
Yep. So I hope that makes sense to you. Because I prepped for a lot of network marketing companies over the years. And the one thing that was lacking for my team anyway, and, I'll take personal responsibility for that because I didn't bring anything to the table for them myself, was just, okay, I'm starting to make this money. What do I do with it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
because like I said, when I signed up for this, they didn't tell me that there was no retirement plan.
like, what?
Right. Like, wait, so what? Yeah. So we want to make sure, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that people are as successful as they want to be. Right. And you have the information so that you can make an informed decision on the back end. Like, we put the information out there for you. Do a little bit of research, message us, ask us questions. We're open books. We don't hide anything. We actually overshare.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised at how mad we make people sometimes. It's like, but it's the truth, right? So please, please, please feel free to message us. There's no such thing as like a crazy or dumb question. We were beginners too. We started off not knowing anything about the space, and now we know a lot about the space. And it's because we plugged in, and it was because we weren't afraid to ask the questions that we were like, is this a real valid question or not? Let me just ask it anyway,
People always know who we are. And like, no matter what, like if I'm going to be in a community, like, or have a mentor or whatever, I'm going to ask questions. Why would I not ask questions? Like using a resource.
Yep.
And some people are quiet and they don't want to ask a question. I don't really care. Like, I'm going to throw questions out there. I'm going to find a question in my brain because I have a resource to ask a question and get that information. So people always end up knowing who we are just because we're question askers. And so don't be afraid. And, I know that's cliche that there's no such thing as a stupid question. But you're new. If you're new, and you may not be new, but you also might not realize that there's a 50 zillion different ways to make money inside of crypto.
Yep.
I'm exaggerating with the 50 zillion ways, but it's a lot.
Yeah. And Christy, she's the one who asks the questions. I'm the one who presses the buttons and breaks stuff and then asks questions later.
Yes. Well, I press buttons too, but Christy, she really likes to press buttons. But you can't be afraid to press buttons. It's like when we first set up computers for like our mothers and stuff. Like, you can't really break it. Right.
Worst thing you can do is turn it off, turn it back on, and start over.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. So please, please, please feel free to reach out to us because we're here to help. And it's not about joining the team, but we want to make sure that people are getting good, credible information. Right. If you have questions, we want to make sure that you have good, credible information, and we do share our resources and things like that so that you can find those answers that you need.
I just want to take it like something that Jim Rohn says, if you only have $1, spend it on a book. Okay. And Tony Robbins talks about, if he had to start over, the first thing he would spend money on is education. People come to us and it's like, oh, I have like $200 to start in crypto. What should I do? You should get education first.
Yeah.
It's like, what they want you to do is tell them, okay, buy this specific coin.
Yep.
What do you recommend? It's like, I'm not going to tell you what coin to get because, what?
If we ever answered that question, a lot of people wouldn't know how to do it.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't know how to use the exchange or how to start the process to getting the thing that we just gave you. So think about it like that too.
Exactly.
Sometimes you need that roadmap to get involved so that you're doing it in the right order. Because
I tell you the
undoing
same thing
stuff.
with stocks. What stocks you
Yep.
buy, you should invest in some stock education first.
Yep. Because the exchanges have lots of buttons. I'm just saying.
Some people don't even know where to get certain coins and they don't know the risk that's involved with them, and I also think sometimes when we're asked that, people want the responsibility to be taken off of themselves, right? If so and so tells me, and that way if it tanks, they've got someone else to blame.
Yep.
Right. So because investing is risky, not investing is risky as well. But yeah, so if you were going to ask one of us what's the first thing you would do, it would be to invest in education. Why do we say that? Because that's what we did. And that's what any high income earning person will tell you. Is the first thing is you do your own research and get educated.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. It's just not what you want to hear because we live in an instant gratification society.
Right. And the worst thing about instant gratification is sometimes you can't undo it. Control Z does not work on everything.
That's true. People who stand in front of the microwave watching the 1 minute to count down because that's, it's like, that's just not going to work here. Right.
Yep.
So look within, I don't know, the next hour or so after we're done today on our Facebook page again, and we're going to drop a little, I think it was like just over 4-minute video, and we're going to do a little demo for you to show you one of the easiest thing that we do to make money.
Yep.
You're going to be able to see it. So come back.
And then think about it. That's like that. I would say is the easiest, but there's one that just requires a little bit of work in the beginning. And after that, like it's over. You just leave it there. I love the little treasure box. Like
I love our treasure boxes, and they're not plug and play. And I always like to, people do talk about them being plug and play. And I like, don't feel they are, because yes, you plug them in, they make money, but there's do you have it positioned the best in your window? Right. Do you need an antenna on it? So, but she's right. Nobody sends the boxes back.
Yeah.
Like 100% retention, which I've never experienced in anything I've ever done, where no one leaves, it drops out of the program. Because why would you? Your box sits in a window and makes money, or it sits outside. Some people have outdoor units. But yes, there's no question. It's once you get it done, it's passive.
Yep.
And even to push the button, you still got to push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just once a day, follow directions, press the button and wait.
Right.
And then you're done. So like we have, and it's like I said, or like we keep saying, it's because we've taken the time to get the education that has put us in circles of people who are interested in this type of income. So now we find great stuff. The people around us find great stuff, and they're like, oh, let's share it with the Pip Sisters because they like this stuff,
Mm-hmm. We do get hit up a lot on DM, and it's okay. I don't mind looking at people's stuff. Doesn't mean I'm going to join, but I'm open to looking.
Exactly.
I'm more open to looking to see if I can help you market it, though, because that's really what you're trying to do when you're messaging me.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're doing pretty good staying at 30 minutes.
I'm surprised because you guys, like we told you in the first or second episode, we talk for hours. So we're doing really good staying inside of that 30-minute time frame.
Yes, we are. Absolutely. We're trying to stay on an agenda and do like a hard stop, if you will. So because we're busy, but we want to make sure we get this information out to you. And crazy things are going on, like that would blow your mind inside of the team right now. So, message us and just, get the information, see if it makes sense. I'm just telling you that this is not a program that competes with anything else you're currently doing. Right. It's very complementary. Right. So if you love what you're doing as a network marketer, you keep doing that thing. And we've got something complementary that can help you grow your money even further.
Exactly. Because, we are about gigabucks income. And when you have that gigabucks income coming in, it should be growing.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's going to wrap us up. Like We did good today.
We did good today.
Yep.
So we'll see you back here tomorrow, right? Because we're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep. And I might have a surprise for us tomorrow. I'm working on it.
Okay, cool.
But don't forget to sign up for pipsforbrunch.com. So the extra saucy stuff that we don't give out on the podcast or on our social medias, you get in your email. Okay. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.